In the Heights, just saw In the Heights, folks. I guess it's some type of preview for Regal Cinema, which is in the background. Like I've been saying, these movie theaters, many of them are open throughout the country. A lot of them are opening soon. And Mike's instant movie reviews have been with those that have been watching throughout this god-awful pandemic, going to the movies where I can, where available, and sharing my thoughts on the films. So I just saw In the Heights, and I think I'm probably one of the first people to see this thing. And I'll say non-spoiler, worth it. Non-spoiler, fun. Non-spoiler, a good film. You can pretty much take the whole family. Nothing terribly offensive or violent or sexual. You know, but not a child's film either. It's a musical, and it definitely is a musical. So some people are very opposed to musicals. I've kind of softened my stance on musicals. I've grown to accept them and to enjoy good ones. Not all musicals. This one's pretty good. It's good. It's very well made. It's well constructed. The songs and so forth. I guess I'll get into some spoiler action now. You know, the cast, I didn't really know most of the cast. I did know Jimmy Smits from LA Law and many movies and films, and wasn't he on NYPD Blue? Didn't he take David Caruso's place? This is like stuff from 20 years ago. But Jimmy Smits, great actor, plays a dad. His character's daughter is Vanessa, is the name of the character. Wonderful, beautiful young actress, kind of the star of this thing, one of the stars. One of the, not to say a problem, but just a situation with this movie is it's kind of an ensemble cast. So there's a lot of different storylines bouncing around at once. A lot of generational stories. In the Heights refers to Dominican Republic, Cuban, Puerto Rican people living in the Heights of New York City. They've kind of got their own little spot, their own little neighborhood, and so on and so forth. And the generations, each one trying to pass on something to the next. And our lead guy is kind of pining to go back home, in his view, to the Dominican Republic and pick up shop there and leave the little corner store that he's got for himself, where he makes the best coffee in the neighborhood. And of course he's pining for this Vanessa character. And there's another guy who's pining for the Jimmy. I get confused. Jimmy Smits' daughter is somebody else. His daughter is going off to college. There's one thing I would say about this movie, like I said, the ensemble stuff, it can be a bit of a detriment story structure-wise. I'm trying to teach you some things about storytelling, because there's two young couples in this movie that their stories are pretty fucking similar in a way. Both stories, in my opinion, you know, they elevate the female characters and kind of make the male characters simps, meaning that the male characters are evolving around these female characters, which, hey, it's fine. It's a movie. You can do whatever the hell you want. But in one of these storylines, Jimmy Smits' daughter has been accepted into Stanford. She's gone there. Her first year has not gone so well. She's experienced some prejudice. She's experienced some hard times, if you would, being searched, being accused of thievery from her roommate. She's traumatized by this. She doesn't like the people that she's going to school with. She feels she has no backup, no family. And she's considering dropping out. And of course, as dad, Jimmy Smits and the wife, the mother of this young lady, is dead. So Jimmy Smits' father character is not wanting to hear that, not wanting to hear that his daughter is quitting the fight. He keeps making these boxing references. You might get some bruises, but don't quit the fight. To get back in the ring, blah, blah, blah. So that's her whole deal. And of course, she's got this guy, her ex-boyfriend from the neighborhood, who's a nice guy, and he's pining for her. So he's going to revolve around her, whatever she does. And then you got the other storyline of the guy who runs the convenience store, And the girl that he's pining for, Vanessa, she wants to be a fashion designer in Manhattan or whatever the fuck. So she's got to get this apartment in Manhattan, and she's having a hard time getting a place to live and doing her designs and blah, blah, blah. So, of course, all these guys are chasing these fucking women, revolving around them. It's fine. It's just crap. But it's, like I said, the two storylines of the two couples, if I were to make a tweak or to go in there and adjust the movie a bit, they're very similar storylines. It's like the young women, these 20-year-old, 22-year-old women characters, are off taking on the world, and these two guy characters that fawn over them are just kind of sitting around doing nothing or whatever the fuck. So, I don't know. I guess it's take your daughter to Empowerment Day in the movies for this one. That being said, the movie's good. I don't know what to say. I'd say, why don't I like this? I did like the movie. And there was people in the theater cheering at the end of different songs. And you can tell when they cut this thing, which means edited, they had certain breaks so that the audience could clap. Like, clap here, folks. This is the end of the song. Here's where you can clap. And so this audience that I was in there with was clapping quite a bit. Nice, pleasant. The thing with musicals is if, like, is there ever, I guess I haven't seen fucking Hamilton. Like, everyone shakes their dick at Hamilton, and I just haven't gotten around to see it yet. And everybody makes these fucking Hamilton references. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what to say. But the thing with musicals is they do have legs, meaning that whether it's Grease or whatever the fuck, if you make a musical, you could be rolling in dough for the rest of your fucking life. But it's a lot of work because you got to get that music composed. You got to get all these fucking dance numbers. I guess this thing was on stage on Broadway or wherever the fuck. I just never heard of it before this movie. I like the movie. I do. But I will say why me maybe didn't connect, as probably most people will, because this will probably be a big deal of a movie. I have no cultural background. My family did not give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, we maybe 5%, if that, maybe 2% of the cultural pride my family would have. So I appreciate things like this, or people that their families like this big get-together bullshit, and aunts and uncles, and everyone's got their opinion on your business. You know what I mean? And, oh, cousin. I mean, I had an Italian friend up in Rhode Island whose name was Kenny. And every time he'd say, hey, Kenny, you want to do something? We're doing something Friday night. We're doing something Saturday, Thursday. Oh, I got my cousin's birthday. Well, he's said this for about 5 years. How many fucking cousins do you have? I mean, Christ. So just, you wonder about these people with these big families. They're always obligated for family gatherings. So the question I would have, quite simply, is how can you live your own life and pursue your own goals if you're always taking into consideration what your family's doing? When are you free to do your own goddamn thing? And nobody has an answer for that. Or if they do, it's lacking. So the lone wolf lifestyle and so forth sometimes is the way to go, because if you're always, pandering to somebody else or some fucking cousin's birthday, how are you going to do anything that you want to do? Just a fucking thought. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I liked the film. It was fun. The women, of course, I mean, they don't cast, for all these things about women's body shapes and pride and issues and all that good stuff. They always cast the most gorgeous fucking women in these roles. You know what I mean? Like, they cast the two lead women that I was talking about, the young characters. They probably weigh a total of 210 pounds combined. You know what I mean? But they would not cast a singular female who weighed, more than 160 pounds in real life. They just wouldn't. So for all the good talk about women's empowerment and shapes and love all shapes and all sizes, they don't fucking do that in reality in Hollywood, at least not now. Or if they do, it's something like Precious, where, that's an extreme case of morbid, sickness and abuse and all that stuff. So, point of the fucking matter is this. I enjoyed the movie. I think others will like it more than I did, just because it's a sing-along happy fuck movie. It's a cultural pride movie. I have nothing against that. I don't connect with it. It's not my bag, baby. So I respect the movie. I enjoy the movie. I'm glad I went and saw it. The audience, there were people in this fucking audience right on cue when there was a punchline. People were, people laughing and shit. So, this audience popped for this goddamn thing, which is fine. And I can imagine if you grew up in an environment, Latino or otherwise, where there was cultural pride and family and mi familia and all that good stuff, whether it's Italian or whatever the fuck, French Renaissance, Latino, you could probably relate to this movie and have a great time and all that good shit. So I give it a thumbs up. A well-constructed, a good story, well told. The choreography, the acting, everything is fine. Everything is good. Some creative things I might take issue with. The movie shows its hand a lot. It tells you what's going to happen before it does. Spoilers. There's text on the screen saying things like 3 days until blackout, 2 days until blackout. So we know that blackout's going to come. Then we see the main character talking to these children, telling them the story. And one of the kids says, about 45 minutes or an hour into the movie, "Okay, Daddy." So we know that he had this fucking kid. So they're giving away things. It's neither here nor there. It's just, for instance, the blackout was kind of anticlimactic because they do this whole thing with this blackout, telling you that a blackout's going to happen. And then once it does, it's kind of like it's not a big deal. I guess it is, because, spoiler, one old lady dies, but in the blackout, but I don't know, it just beyond, she could have died anyway, so I don't know, it is what it fucking is. It's a good movie, and go see the movies in the movie theater, Mike Messier. You can watch my movie, Blood Sugar Sedase, right from Mike Messier YouTube channel. People have been asking me, I guess I have to fucking cross-reference everything. People say, "Oh, can you provide the link?" If you just dig around my goddamn playlist, you can see fucking everything that I have on here. Okay, bye.